Hey everybody, welcome to an episode of Fortunes in Reselling. Tonight we're going to talk about the best reselling platforms for Q4. So if you have any questions for us, please throw them in the chat tonight and we will make sure that we get them answered. If you guys don't watch me already, I'm Lauren, Hot Chic Thrift. So make sure you sub to my channel, especially if you want to learn more about clothing. And I will let Shane introduce himself next here.
Awesome. How's it going, everybody? I'm Shane, the Rising Grand Picker, and it's going to be an awesome episode tonight. So, Scott, what do you got going?
Nothing. Bearded, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Last time I switched to the headphones, it went nuts. Nothing going on. Shipping out Monopoly games. Bearded Picker. If you don't know me by now, sorry.
I'm Wade.
I might be live like 4 days a week. So,
what's going on, guys? I am Wade with Wade's Ventures here, and appreciate everybody coming tonight. I'm super excited to be on this YouTube channel, and this topic is really cool. And seeing a lot of cool people in chat, Thrifty Treasures in chat, so many really cool people, guys. So happy Sunday, and FanDuel, I'm crushing it, guys. We'll talk about that later.
That's awesome.
Well, I can go first. My strategy right now, at least for Q4, is I have been pretty much hoarding stuff for all year that I'm going to be listing. I started about a week ago until maybe the first or second week in December of just things that I know are going to be Christmas gifts. And I'm mainly going to hit eBay and Poshmark for my items just because they work there. You guys know that I don't do Amazon yet. I'm planning on it later, but I just haven't taken the jump yet. Shane and Scott are trying to talk me into it, but I'll get there. But that's my strategy so far. How about you guys?
So I feel like my strategy is to really level up Amazon, right? For me, Amazon is actually, it's more volume than eBay. So probably, I have like 3 listers for eBay. So what I'm going to do is actually just push pictures down the Vim so I can actually just focus on Amazon. I got a couple big deals in the mix. One that's already taken place where I'm basically going to be buying books at more of a wholesale level through thrift stores and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, Amazon's great, and the volume and the sales process is way easier. You can sell and list more. And so that's really my goal, is to kind of transfer everything over and maybe source higher end items for eBay and not so much lower end.
Yeah, I think I've talked about this on a couple shows now. I had come back to eBay and was trying to clear a lot of inventory and was really enjoying eBay, but I need the time. I don't want to hire an employee, but I need help. So that's where Amazon, I'm going to turn around and focus much more on Amazon FBA right now, just because it gives me a lot more freedom. Once I start getting product again and getting it into the warehouses, I'll have time to, spend with Joni, and because every other week is, 2 days are completely wiped out with being at the cancer center, and then the third day after that, she feels awful. So I don't feel comfortable being out here while she's inside.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So I'm doing mostly eBay right now, primarily because I'm sitting on a lot of inventory. But I have been inspired to do a lot more Amazon recently, and I think anybody that's looking to branch out and go to maybe a couple of different platforms, Amazon's really good right now, because more than likely you can get stuff that's deeply discounted for this type of season, fourth quarter, in these brick and mortar stores that you guys can sell for retail arbitrage purposes. And I think it's a really great time to kind of dive in and at least try Amazon, because it's booming right now. Feed the beast, right? So I definitely need to get more into Amazon, and so I'm shifting a little focus into that. But it's tough, because where's that balance? Like, I've got 2,700 items on eBay right now, and I'm ramping up to like 4,000, and that's my goal. But then, like Scott and all of us talked about, like, where do we find that balance between two platforms? But if you're going to join Amazon, Like I'm gonna start dipping into a lot more Amazon FBA primarily, because the allure of being able to go wherever you want, ship the box in, and not have to house inventory is crazy cool. So yes, but for right now, primarily eBay.
Everybody on the panel has mentioned Amazon. The one thing if you're going to try that right now, know the rules. If you don't know, ask somebody. Ignorance of the rules means you get suspended. I'm just saying that for your own good. Amazon is different from any of the other platforms, because they treat it as their customer, not your customer. And they have a set of rules. And if you don't follow by them, they could care less how big you are. They don't care how new or old you are. They suspend you and make you grovel and beg to come back. So,
well, and that's a good question, because I actually had a couple questions on Instagram. So I posted this picture, screenshot on my phone last night, and I did $1,900 in one day on Amazon, and it was a lot of Monopoly games, and then scattered around some books as well. And I had this guy reach out and ask the question of, hey, I can't get unrestricted. They want an invoice for Monopoly games. And I said, when did you set up your account? And he's like, today. And I'm like, yeah, you're not going to get approved, because he had no selling history. And so just keep in mind, like, if you go and set up an account right now and you have like 50 Monopoly games, you're probably not going to be able to list them.
But the one thing, I get this question a lot. What should I start selling on Amazon? Because I'm restricted. Everybody focuses on what they can't sell, when there are huge categories of stuff that are wide open. Most of the sports stuff is there's no restrictions on most of the sports. Most of the home and kitchen, home and garden, all that stuff. Most of that stuff there are very, very few gatings and restrictions in those categories. And these are huge categories. Toys runs about 15 million items that are in the catalog. The home category is like 40 million. Sports I think it's in the 25 million. So just because it's not your area of expertise, sometimes you need to do what you're allowed to do in order to build that sales history so you can sell the other things that you're finding.
And I want to piggyback on that real quick. And I think that we all have these New Year's resolutions come, the beginning of the year to get fit. I mean, it's one of the most busiest seasons for, workout, sports, and all that active stuff. So, I mean, we're in December. We're coming up into December, and then soon it's gonna be the new year. People are gonna be buying that like crazy. So that's a great category to get started in. At least get your feet wet in.
Especially books and DVDs on eBay. You probably won't be able to sell the DVDs on Amazon, but workout DVDs on eBay go crazy.
Workout clothes on eBay go crazy too, and Poshmark. So if you have any kind of athletic clothing, get it listed.
Philip Leitner in the chat says stay away from NFL products. That goes for any of the 4 major sports categories. They all have agreements with Amazon. They're all heavily restricted, and so you don't even bother looking them up. It's very difficult to get ungated for any of the licensed NFL, NHL, NBA, and I think MSL. I think maybe. So that's just one. Even I know I've had some stuff that whenever they shut it down, I was Major League Baseball. That was the other NBA, NBL. So whatever it is, baseball. So I had some baseballs that were on there. I had to bring back. I sold them on eBay. It's not a big deal, but.
Totally. So, Lauren, how's Poshmark going for you? Like, is Poshmark still going good, or is it still? Do you see like a downtrend in sales, or is it still uptrending pretty good?
It's uptrending pretty good. I have seen that I'm selling way more new with tags, but I definitely predicted that. I've been trying to list more new with tags, but in order to do that, I have to get some of my old stuff out. So this week, I'm probably going to list a lot of used stuff. But
nice.
My new with tags, I have tons. Like behind me, I don't know if you guys can see. I have a bunch of stuff that's like wrapped in plastic already that I already have the pictures done for, but I just need to list some winter coats. So if you need a winter coat, check it out. Probably you with your phone, Shane.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. Am I echoing?
It just kind of echoed a little bit, but you're good now.
How are your clothing sales doing?
Pretty good on eBay. I'm actually, so I'm in this really weird transition where I'm starting to get out of clothing a little bit and go more hard goods, but I'm doing clothing. If it's clothing and I can sell it for like $25 and up, I'll pick it up. And so I wanted to really like hone in on that $25 and up, because I was picking up a lot of clothing that was like $10 and $14 and $15.99, and it's just so exhausting listing clothing. And I know that, Wade probably feels the same way too, because he has a ton of clothing to list.
Yes, I have a ton of clothing, probably like 2,000 articles right now, and probably not 1,000 to list. But it's for me, like it really starts picking up new with tags like the first 2 weeks of December too. Like that's a really good time to sell new with tag clothing, and probably vintage clothing and stuff. And I think too is like, Tom, you said Poshmark shoes, new with tags, 30% more, 5 times faster on Poshmark. And Poshmark is like, this is my opinion. I think they give you like the framework to be successful already, because they have these parties, and all you have to do is notice the brands that are selling in these parties, and that's primarily probably some of the top selling brands out there. So if you're full time, you definitely need to be on 2 platforms. Part time, even consider 2 platforms. Just get your feet wet, and different ways to sell and make money. But yeah, Poshmark is fantastic. I need to get more items on Poshmark, 50. But that's kind of my goal. And I think when I first started, I was like putting crap on there that wasn't really popular. And I noticed that if I take that off and put like more of the uptrending popular brands, I'll probably do a little bit better. So
yes, I would say the perfect price point for Poshmark is between $35 and $70 if you want to have daily sales. At least for me, like I have a lot of higher price stuff listed, but my good sales are usually things that I have priced at that point. And even if I take a lower offer, like I'm still getting a lot of traction and movement. So that's the kind of stuff that I try to pick up and list.
That's exactly where I want to be, because I got a bunch of like no name cheap stuff on there. So,
and you kind of have to have that scattered in too, because then you get the people that are looking at that come and look to see what else you have.
So I think it's important you guys are talking about the different platforms, and Shane talked about 25 or more. The nice thing about if you're picking up new items, Amazon FBA, you can, there were items that I would never sell on eBay because there's not enough profit in them. But if I'm just throwing it in a box because it's going with everything else, and there's, it's just spreading out the shipping costs, basically, it's lowering the shipping costs for everything else, and you're still going to make profit on it and sell in a reasonable time. It's important multi platforms to understand, to have a set of rules for yourself. Your rule might be I need to make $25 on eBay, but if I don't have to take a sticker off, I don't have to clean it, I don't have to do anything other than throw it in a box. Amazon, you buy it for a couple of dollars and make a couple of dollars. That's not a bad deal. It's right. Poshmark and eBay seem to be the same way, same kind of method that.
Well, and I just sent in like 10 books today on a shipment for books where I was going to make like $1.50 to $2 a book. And I was fine with that,
Absolutely.
And if you're, at least for me, when I was new, like it was really important to me to, I was really primarily only on eBay. And then, I was like, I don't want to join any other platforms because I just wasn't used to it. I was used to eBay. And then I slowly got on Amazon and then Poshmark and Mercari. And I think it's really cool to try out these different platforms, because as you're sourcing, you save time. When I was only on eBay, I was passing up Amazon items. And now that I'm on all the platforms, if I find like, glassware or something really heavy, I can sell it on Mercari. And then more expensive clothing, Poshmark cross-posted to eBay. And then you got your Amazon, obviously. And I'm, echoing what Scott did. I bought a bunch of barbecue brushes, and I bought a bunch of them, put them on. I put this on Instagram, bought a few hundred of them, and I made $3 each, but it took me 2 seconds, went to 2 locations. So it's always good to at least be on all the platforms. So if you're not tonight, download all those apps, sign up, at least so nobody can take your name. I can't have somebody with Wade's Ventures on Mercari and that not be my account. At least get on there and try, and then also partner or YouTube or find somebody that's like really fluent in each platform and learn it, because once you force yourself to, like, it's a great way. You want a lot of hooks in the water, especially if you've got time to kind of let those marinate. So
exactly.
That's the one thing Wade's kind of hitting on. If you're struggling finding items to sell, a lot of people go, "What do I sell?" They don't have any. But the more avenues you have opens you up to more opportunities. Just because it's not a good fit for too much work to sell it on eBay, throw it in a box, sell it on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, I'm gonna get more money on a platform such as Poshmark or Amazon, or the shipping and fees are better on Mercari. Whatever it is, that's the first question you ask yourself: is, am I doing everything I can to maximize what is in my area? And if there's things in my area that's not good for eBay, why am I not investigating other platforms? I mean, you're doing the same work. And so, even into the point somebody mentioned in the chat, OfferUp. I mean, it's not just an online platform. Are you using the online local platforms?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you really got to help yourself out, make yourself easier, and broaden what you can sell by selling on multiple places.
I just want to say, you have to put yourself out there, like, to be this most successful person you possibly can be. And when you're a part of multiple platforms, that's what can happen for you. You can be super successful because you have different options. Like, you can do different things. And not only that, but people that think their business is going great, and that's fantastic if you're crushing it on whatever platform you're on. But you don't know exactly how much more you can do unless you try out other platforms and see kind of where those can lead. Maybe there may be opportunity out there that you're missing. And for a while there, I was like, I'm not doing Poshmark. It's ladies only platform. No guys are successful on that thing. And boom, I got like 12,000 followers. And I'm over there like I'm doing love notes and everything. So your boy Wade can do Poshmark too. You guys in there, don't think it's just for the ladies. Guys are crushing it too. So yeah, get on multiple platforms. Right now is the best time because everything is pretty much selling right now. I can sell virtually anything in Q4 almost. So this is a good time to experiment. And especially Mercari, I know you have to have a few sales before they max you out to do a certain amount of listings. So if you guys, I would create the Mercari account, at least put some few items on there, get a few sales, so that way you can kind of put a lot more items on there, because I think they cap you per listings. I could be wrong, but
I want to say that they do. I have a Mercari account and I've had it for I think 3 or 4 years now, but I just started using it again, and I can just tell, like, in the analytics I'm pushed down because I haven't sold anything for a long time. So I'm kind of trying to build it up, and I'm hoping I get a couple sales this week, and that'll help my analytics so that my stuff shows up.
Yeah, I do a lot of like glassware and stuff on there. Stuff that real heavy. They've got a great shipping program. So
would y'all say most of the sellers on Poshmark are women?
No, actually, there's a lot of men's sellers now.
But I would say at least 80%. There's probably like 20%. I don't know. I don't know the analytics, but there's more men that are going on there though. So
yeah, there are.
So that's the one thing I would tell you is, how if I'm looking for stuff out for like Amazon or whatever, and especially toys is a good way to explain what I'm going to say, is if it's the Ninja Turtles, the girl April is almost always the one I scan first because she's the only girl, and so you know what I mean. There's some value in being the male seller on Poshmark, because you're more unusual. It's like a lot of the Barbie dolls. If you find the African American Barbie dolls, they just didn't make as many of them, and so those are generally the ones that are, when you find in the store, worth more money, because I'm always scanning. Hey, this is a different one. That's the first one I'll start with. If there's anything in that line, it'll be worth anything. It'll be the one that's not like everything else. And so I would think Poshmark sellers, you might have an advantage being a male.
You do. Actually, I don't know. I know I have a lot of new people watching on my channel tonight, but I do a show with Tanya, Thrifty Treasures, Andy, Parrot Head Picker, and Dwayne, Mothership Products. And Dwayne and Andy are both on Poshmark after they talked to me. like 2 years ago or a year ago. And Andy is killing it, I know. And I know Dwayne really likes it too. So I think Andy's in the chat. I thought I saw him.
He is.
Enlighten us, Andy. Tell us how you're doing down there.
But I think it's because we limit ourselves in our own minds because, you know, like a lot of guys will think, that's just like for women, that's a lot of women's clothes. And you talk yourself out of income opportunities. And then you want to feel sorry for yourself because, well, I can't sell this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got to think the other way. As an entrepreneur and as a business owner and somebody who is doing this, you need to think to what's to your advantage, you know, not negatively. You know, how can I take advantage of this platform? You need to identify each platform. Each one of them has strengths. Each one of them has weaknesses. How do they best fit your business model so that you can take advantage of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I know when I was thinking about joining Poshmark, it was like sharing. Like, I don't want to do sharing. Like, I just want to, because we get so set in like either sending in our products, or if you're doing maybe fulfilled by a merchant or whatever the case may be, we get the idea that you list it and kind of forget it. And you know, Poshmark with the sharing and the parties, and as a guy, I'm like, I don't have time for that. I mean, I have time for parties, but not actually. So that being said, though, like once I jumped over the fence and like signed up with an account, got my items on there, and realized how easy it was, and you don't necessarily have to share to sell too, which is really cool. And so yeah, it's one of those things that I think you just have to force yourself to try it. For example, everybody's like, you know, I don't want to go to the Goodwill bins. I'm timid, right? And I'm like, okay, force yourself 5 times within 2 weeks going to the bins and force yourself to stay there for an hour. And then after that, you won't be timid anymore and you'll be out there swimming in clothes, right? So that's kind of the idea with Poshmark and other apps. Like, and right now, the reason I think the title is because right now, fourth quarter, stuff sells. So it's time to sign up for that good stuff.
Yeah, I think Tommy Bernard, he makes a good point at the top. Says he only sells men's clothes and shoes for the most part over there, but there are millions of women who on these platforms that have husbands and boyfriends and significant others. And I mean, I rarely, I'll pick up sports shirts or whatever, but any new clothes I buy, Joni buys. And I can't be the only one that, you know, that wife just buys whatever. She knows my sizes. You know, guys are different. I wear an extra large. It's an extra large. It's not like, you know, guys don't have to try stuff on. Like, you know, women's each brand an 8 is not an 8 on every. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think he's onto something there that just because, you know, you would think negatively. Look, it's all women. They're only buying women's clothes. Oh no, they're buying everything.
Right.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
Donna asked, is it easier to list on Poshmark? eBay takes forever. I don't have any clue. So
super easy to list on Posh. It takes I'm so fast now. I can do a listing in like a minute or less. And it's really easy if you have your measurements all out. If you're adding measurements, I will try to do, I don't have it in here, but if I have them all laid out, I can just quick type them in, and it's so fast.
Wow.
And you can do square mode too, guys. Like use your phone when you take your pictures. If you use your phone, and I do square mode for eBay and Poshmark, so it makes it quick and easy. And so you can. I typically will do the eBay listing, and then just upload the pictures on Poshmark and copy and paste. But yeah, cross posting is simple. You just got to make sure you know the locations, and then you remove it. And if it is sold on both, you cancel the Poshmark and not the eBay. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, it's man, I love me some Poshmark, guys. And just like Scott said, that is amazing that you ladies, you really amazing wives and girlfriends and spouses, yes, they do shop for the men too. So that's a great point.
See, for me, I just couldn't get into Poshmark, and you know, now that I have Amazon and eBay, I just don't have time. So, you know, even if I wanted to try it, I couldn't.
That's been part of my problem of not doing Amazon yet is time. And I have all this inventory, and I need to get rid of some of this before I even attempt Amazon.
Right.
I have too much work to do.
And I think being honest with yourself too is very important. You know, it's the strength and weakness of each of these platforms and what you find and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're already in an area where you're doing successful, then pick the ones you're best at. And no one, because I've struggled since the summer with trying to do eBay and Amazon both well. You know, I'll do one real good for a while, and then I'll look and go, well, damn, I ignored the other one. And so I'll pick up on that one, and I'll turn around and go, well, I just did the exact opposite. And it's absolutely two is probably the limit for me, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that as well. I could maybe get away with 3, but 1 would be neglected.
Right. No, totally.
I feel guilty sometimes too. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, I haven't shown Mercari any love recently, you know. And I to your point though, it is you really got to find out what works best for you, but you can't find out what works best for you if you necessarily haven't tried out all the platforms, because there may be something that you haven't tried that will work perfect and great, you know. So, but it's an exciting time to be. I mean, who can be in their pajamas and sell stuff on their phone now? Incredible. Bless you.
Bless you.
I tried to hit mute, but I couldn't get there fast enough.
Well, you can do that on a couple platforms, Wade, because I can go buy Monopoly games at Walmart in my pajamas and list it in the parking lot from my phone and sell it. So, you know, Amazon, Merchant Fulfilled, or FBA, you can do it in your pajamas for Walmart.
There's just something about books for me that, man, I just love selling books on Amazon. And I don't know why. It's weird, but I like retail arbitrage too, just not as much. Like books are, like I'm addicted to hunting books.
There are some exceptions. You doing retail arbitrage a couple Friday nights ago, we had a blast. And you were in one state, I was in the other. We were on the phone for like 5 hours.
And it was exciting. Like that was exciting. And I think chasing an item is exciting. Chasing books are exciting. Going into Walmart and scanning the clearance aisle for me is not very exciting. And so when you sell on Amazon, I feel like you got to like figure out what works for you, because scanning books can be very mind numbing, you know, especially if you're doing it all day.
Yes.
So I see people in pajamas all the time at Walmarts.
Is that on that the people at Walmart? Is it because I see a lot of people in pajamas on there?
Oh, you watch the show? Yes. All right, I'll say one last thing, but first of all, guys, 146 people watching. Right below the video, we gotta show some love. We gotta show some love for this channel. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Okay, I had to bring that up. Maybe we can get to like 60 loves, 60 thumbs up. So it'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Thank you in advance.
All right, who hit the dislike? Whoever hit the dislike, we're gonna call you out.
Yeah, we're gonna call you out because let's talk about dislikes for a minute. This is not on any topic whatsoever. My wife has breast cancer, and I have a separate playlist, and she is telling her story. And we made a video Friday night of her just talking about where she's at in her treatment. I don't know if maybe I just didn't repeat it, but all the AdSense for these videos are going to cancer research. I'm going to make a donation once a month, and I will post them starting that for now, and I will post the amount. What loser thumbs down my wife's video about breast cancer? Hey, how about unsubscribing from me? Appreciate that.
No, yeah, it's that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, really? I mean, are you that small-hearted and that uncaring and sympathetic that you hit the dislike button for that? Don't watch my channel again. I could care less. If I saw you, I'd hit you with this bottle. It's just infuriating that. Yeah. I mean, life, when something happens to someone when a loved one, I mean, and even if you can't have a heart, I mean, I go with my wife. We've gone to 2 different cancer treatments. And the people that are affected in this cancer center, they've done nothing wrong, and it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible disease. It's heartbreaking to hear their stories, and so we're just trying to help folks. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't thumbs down my wife's video. You can thumbs down me all you want to. I could care less. If you don't like me going to get Monopoly games, hit it. I don't care.
Yeah, that is rude. The people of YouTube.
Yeah, it's
People.
And sometimes YouTube is a very infuriating place, and I just kind of take it with a grain of salt because
I do too, but
and that that's what I mean. Like, I don't know how I would feel about that, but I've been called names, I've been called whatever, and I'm just like, it is what it is.
yeah, you can call me names, you can make fun of my beard, my bald head. I'm overweight. I don't care. Say whatever you want to. But it's but for the most part, I mean, I recognize most of the people in the chat, and these folks are absolutely outstanding. I mean, that's why we do these shows. We enjoy talking about what we do. We enjoy trying to help folks out.
So
I agree with that.
I just got an eBay alert, folks. An early Cyber Monday deal. A Surface Pro for $799.99.
What kind of deal is that?
That's what I mean. I'm like, yeah, that's not a deal. This doesn't sound like a good deal to me.
Somebody tomorrow has got a laptop, a entry gaming laptop for Lenovo for like $699.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
I'm holding out for an iMac because Wade and Scott unfortunately has me addicted to Apple products now, and I have to get Final Cut Pro for the iMac. So
it's crazy cool editing software for YouTube, but it does get a little spendy when you add the add-ons and stuff. But the base program's great. So we have 156 people watching. I'm curious if you guys don't mind doing this, but let me know, guys, if you are on multiple platforms. Like, can you guys possibly put, like, if you're on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, put the different platforms that you guys are on? I'm really curious to see the percent of people that are on these different platforms. Like, if you're on Poshmark and eBay, put Poshmark and eBay.
And I'll answer a question while they're doing that. Ford 1710 asked, do you think the Monopoly game pricing is peaked? I think you're at the very bottom. When you analyze a product, you look at it, you want to know how many are out there. Walmart was the only people. Not every Walmart got them. The most any Walmart got was 36. I mean, you're running into a product that is absolutely
let's
on the Tuesday morning show, we'll talk about it because I expect that listing tomorrow on Cyber Monday to get hammered.
Let's put it like this. Me and Scott talked about this, right? And I said I'm going to make up my money and I'm going to price mine at the lowest. And I did that for about 4 hours because I sold about 37 of them. And then I said, nope, going back up to $80. They're selling so fast down at the lowest price that people are selling out like crazy. So, me and Scott, we sat on a hangout for a while one night and we were looking at quantities, and what Scott found was astonishing. Like, people had, like, the highest quantity we seen was like 11.
Yeah, no, there was one guy sitting back there that had 38 or something, but he was way back. And there's very few people that have got more than 5. I mean, the average was 3. Yeah. So, I mean, when it looks like, you look at it and go, well, there's 250 sellers. But of those 250 sellers, I bet 40% of them have less than 3. And then you start, the other thing you do is when you sell Amazon a lot, especially toys, you recognize some of the larger sellers. There's a seller called Toyberg. Most people have heard of them. There's several large toy sellers. None of them are on the listing. They could not get any.
Yep.
Because it's been sold out in California for quite a while. It didn't really hit the Northeast. I mean, so you've got big blocks of the country. I live in Huntsville, Alabama. Other than the store that's got them stuck in the back and can't get to them, there's not any within a couple hundred miles of me. I mean, it's
and I looked my area up. Once again, me and Scott was on the phone, like, debating this because we talk a lot and we're talking about these because we have a lot of stock in them, right? And in my area, I think it was like 300 miles. I didn't have a single one.
So that one's very unusual. Most of the items, it's rare to find one at one place like that. It's so popular. It's still on TV. People still talk about it because You know, some people are offended by it. Other people think it's a great gag gift and they want, and there's some collectors who are trying to get this because you look at the next thing you would do is look at it and go, well, let's go to Hasbro. That's who makes it. Let's look at their website. They've pulled it from their website. This game ain't coming out. So,
well, all the social media coverage on it too made it so hot. So
right
now everybody knows about it and wants it.
And then you look at the previous years. There's been a couple things. It was Hatchimals a couple years ago. It was Fingerlings. It was, everybody remember a game called Pie Face? Yep. You look at that game and think it's so simple. There was a point in 2015, I was getting $95 a game for that stupid thing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, Pie Face was huge. Toilet Trouble was pretty big, and it was the same year too.
Toilet Trouble? What is all this? What is this game, Shane?
It's like a game where I don't really know how to play it, but it has like a toilet, and you flush it, and whoever does something wrong, it like spurts out all over them.
Oh wow!
But no, and that's the thing is like, you know, could that have went south? Yeah, we could have bought $3,000 worth of Monopoly games and had to return them, but it didn't. So
I'm just thinking right now, like, what if you buy like 300 or 400 of those, and you get gated, and you're stuck with 300 or 400 trouble?
I'm going back to the Walmart that gave me the hardest time, which is Springfield, Illinois, and I'm rolling like 7 carts of Monopoly games in there to return them.
Take that, Walmart.
Here you go, Todd.
That would be a really good YouTube video.
Yeah, actually. His name was Todd. Here you go, Todd. No, if I would have had spyglasses in that Walmart, it would have went viral, 100%. They were treating me like dirt, and if I would have had spyglasses on, it would have been a crazy video. Scott was on the phone. He heard the showdown.
Yeah, I heard him say, "Tell Todd, stop being a dick."
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I'm sitting here driving. I'm like, oh my god, Shane is gonna have to beat the hell out of this dude.
And I tower like 3 foot over him too.
I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to buy any more games because I'm about to go post bail for Shane. He's gonna be in jail in some little bitty town in southern Illinois. They'll find my gun in the van, and we'll both be in the same cell. It'll be terrible.
We'll both be in the same cell, you know, eating bread and butter and whatever else, and you know, and that was just a crazy trip because we dealt with all these Walmart employees all night, and I think that was the most tiring thing, right?
Yeah, they're just dealing with. I mean, I ran into some nice people. There's always nice people, but it seems like the later it gets at Walmart, it's that person they don't want to see the light of day, so they stick them in their stocking shelves and pray nobody will talk to them.
Jennifer says it sounds like Walgreens.
Hey, Jennifer has the worst luck at Walgreens. I do not. Shane, you were on the phone with me the other day.
Yeah,
I get the nicest people at Walgreens. You kept telling me these people are so damn nice. Where do you find them in Walgreens?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said too.
I mean, they were, you know, they opened the register. You know, they didn't want to back up the line. The store manager checked me out in cosmetics, and
he's like, "Oh, you sell on Amazon? Well, how about you go back and buy more?" Is what he said.
That's what they want to. We really have a hard time getting rid of this stuff. We appreciate you buying more. I'm like,
you're just such a nice guy. You're the Walgreens picker.
Yeah, I do have one of my troll names is the Walgreens picker.
Oh, Sam, you know it. So Sam said, "Did you go for horseshoes afterwards?" So Springfield, Illinois, is home of Darby's Pint, which is the most amazing place to eat a horseshoe. It was on like I think Man versus Food or Diners, Drive-ins and Dives or whatever. It's amazing.
What is a horseshoe?
What? Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Is this the place you went with Andy that had the huge shakes?
No, that was that was Steel Plow in near Davenport, and they had these huge shakes, and mine had a whole apple pie on top of it.
Was that the one y'all had straws in the same shake and y'all were gonna kiss at the end?
How'd you know? Did you see that Instagram post? Oh man, you did, didn't you? Yeah, we were sharing a shake, and then we shared a cheeseburger as well. And, I mean, it got a little weird.
See, the one thing, other than multiple platforms, the one thing I would tell you, it's my best advice to give anyone is reach out and make friends to people in this community. It is so much more fun when you have friends that do the same thing and have people to talk to and are not stuck in this garage by yourself 24/7. It would have been boring as hell driving 700 to 900 miles chasing Monopoly games, but there was a lot of fun. He was almost getting beat up. I drove to the wrong store. He drove to a closed store.
So Scott was in the store and he's like, you don't have any in stock? It shows you have like 36. And he kept going around the store. And I said, I don't know. Maybe they just don't have them. And he's like, I'm at the wrong store.
Yeah. I got to my van. I looked at the map. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. I'm at the wrong store.
No, it was a blast. And that's where, like, if you make those kind of connections, like there's not me and Scott probably talk on the phone every day, at least once a day, text, call, message, whatever. And, if I have information, like I see, I'm like, hey, check this out, and if he has information, he gives it to me. And I think that's, that's great. Like if you can share information, because honestly, he's going to hear about things I don't, and I'm going to hear about things that maybe he won't.
Yeah. So far I've saved you 2 IP claims.
Yeah. He saved me 2 IP claims so far. So that's a plus.
Wow.
Moral of the story: do not buy as seen on TV ever to sell on Amazon or Bobhead. And Wade knows that very well.
You should have seen me, guys. First of all, you guys know that you can go to dollartree.com and purchase online, but I was running all these Dollar Trees, picking up these dog washers because I'm like, what the heck? I can make like $5-6 on these things, sending these things into Amazon, and I got 1 million Dollar Trees around me. And my mom's excited because that's her favorite store, so she went with me. And so I got all these Dollar Trees, get like a Mount Rushmore of dog cleaners, as seen on TV, by the way. And get them all. They're stacked up. In fact, you guys probably can't see them, but they're up there, stacked up. And
I see them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I put a little post on Instagram. My kid, he turned 2, right? And I was going around and I was like, you get it. I was giving everybody that came to it, because there's 20-some people. They all got free dog washers. But that's besides the point. To piggyback off Scott, the cool thing about new platforms is, or even existing platforms, is there's people that's already doing it today. And, you may actually be friends with people that are on these different platforms that you have no idea they're on the platforms, and getting to know them, not only to like get the ins and outs of like how to do things quicker, like how to cross post quicker, take square mode. Like I didn't know that at first, and that was a pain. And just different like ways that you can make your life, just that more satisfying and making that money. Because at the end of the day, I've met so many cool people that do only Poshmark, and I've learned a lot from them, and vice versa on eBay. And if I need something, I can call Scott and Shane, everybody else, and ask them about Amazon, right? So getting to know, I guess it all comes down to networking, and that's a whole nother topic. But and I did see and was watching all you lurkers in chat. We have 166 people. We probably had 40 people say what platforms they're on, but a lot of people are on eBay only. Like, what is up, guys? I guarantee they're like, Poshmark's only for the ladies. Now you need to get on there, guys, and just try another platform. That's if anything, after you leave this show, try another platform and see where it leads, and then come back next week and tell us how it went.
Yes, if you sell men's clothes and you are not on Poshmark, get your butt on there, because you are losing money. Talking to you, Shane.
I know, and Andy, man, Andy and Wade are always killing on Poshmark. Like I see their Instagram posts and just Wade talking about it, and and I need to, but man, it's just the time is so like if I had a warehouse and I would just hire an employee to do eBay and Poshmark, and that's all they would do. That would be amazing.
I love
kids share your closet.
Oh my gosh, you stole my tip.
Give your kids an iPad and be like, here, start sharing all these things.
Start sharing everything.
Yeah, so yes. Okay, I'm going to give you guys the most secret tip in the world. Are you ready? Okay, I know all of us have kids now. By the way, before I sell this secret tip, you guys thought I was on my phone not paying attention. Really, I was pulling up this picture here. Yeah, Parrot Picker, my man. I gave him a good shout out because I love that guy. But all right, so here's the thing. Crap, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, if you've got kids and they're like within that age, right? You can be like, hey, let's play a game on this phone, right? Pull up the Poshmark app and tell them share as many of your items as possible, and that can be the game. And then, you can give them whatever their prize is, right? So it's a sharing game on Poshmark if you've got young kids. It works, and it's not child labor, I promise.
I have a 20-year-old. I don't think that works.
Maybe. You could try it. Oh my gosh. Shane and Andy, you two are just in the chat right now.
But yeah, that's like another form of like what Wade said is actually reaching out and getting to know people. Like me and Andy, we hung out in Davenport like a couple times, and it was just a blast. And we went thrifting, and we, did all this stuff, and we get two completely different things. Like I actually didn't probably buy anything he was going to buy, and he didn't buy anything I was going to buy, and so that's kind of like what you got to look at is reselling can be a lonely place.
Well, there's also Easy Money's Picking Adventures, whatever the hell he's calling himself now. That's my brother in the chat. And for a year, we did road trips together, and we bought exactly the same thing. But it's not you develop a closest relationship with a brother. We used to divide everything up. Whatever we found, it didn't matter what it was. It was divided by profit. So it didn't have to be items the same. We each made nearly the same thing on these trips, and I can't tell you how much more fun it is to do things with others. And there's a lot of the other day when I went and picked up the other 40 in South Alabama. Shane was at work, so I talked to my brother most of the time because he was in Mississippi. He was in Mississippi terrorizing the lower Mississippi to buy them, and he's going back tomorrow to pick up the last stores.
Nice.
There's one last point I want to make, and before I forget, because I forget a lot, right? So the one reason why I wanted to join multiple platforms is sourcing opportunities, like offer up Mercari, like Let Go. You want to be on there to sell, but it's also great sourcing opportunities. And a lot of people, and that's kind of a segue into using the app more for selling too. So, or buying, whatever the case may be, but try to force yourself to go on those apps too and use it for sourcing opportunities for the platform that you're selling on. I think that's great. And lastly, I like to ask this question: what state do you guys live in? Because you guys can see if you see people in chat, possibly they're in the same state as you. You can message them and network with them that way. But let me know what state you guys live in. We got 170 people watching. I'm curious. Anybody in Oregon? Anybody in Oregon? Let me know.
Yeah, I got junk in our trunk. You don't have to be mad at just my brother because I picked up a whole ton, and I picked up northern Mississippi. He picked up southern Mississippi.
Couple Tennessees in here.
Alaska? I got that. I was like, oh no.
No, it's Illinois. Just kidding.
Oh, look, Halloween props and costumes lives in Alabama. Maybe we can go to some yard sales together.
I agree, though, that networking is everything. I met Shane and Scott in person before I was ever even did anything on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And talking to you guys is part of why I ended up on YouTube. Really?
Right. And Lauren he sat at my table at the reseller rally. So we talked a lot.
Pancakes with you.
Yeah, we ate pancakes. We ate breakfast with Glenn.
Yeah, Swamp Picker was with us too.
Right, a bunch of people, and it was fun. So like, if you have any chance of going to an event like that, go. You know, don't hesitate. Buy your tickets and go.
I never even met Shane at that thing.
And Scott sat right behind me. He sat right behind me, and he never even met me.
I probably looked at you and thought, man, what a freak.
I know. And I remember looking back, I'm like, man, that guy has a huge beard. I don't know what's up with that, but
I don't know. The Thrifton brothers, Sean and Steve are there. I have a baby beard compared to them dudes.
Oh yeah, they have like
a baby beard. That's so funny to me. That's funny. Only one person from Oregon. Wow, man.
See, I bet Oregon though. I bet the weather is just so nice. Like, I would love to live there.
Yeah,
I only saw Flippin' Hustler in Minnesota. I don't have any other Minnesota peeps in the chat.
Because you guys
all alone up here.
All the snow, right?
I guess so. Shane just needs to come up here and source and visit me and bring Andy with him.
I'll come in the summer when it's warm.
Yeah, don't discount the tip that Wade gave you about multiple platforms. That might be something that you need to mull on. Sourcing from different platforms and selling others, or even I know lots of people that source on Amazon, turn around and sell it back on Amazon.
I do a lot of that too.
You just have to be careful. You cannot use Prime, or you'll be like John Johnson and be banned for life.
Yep. 3 strikes and you're out, but he only got 1.
Make sure you understand the rules. But other than that, Amazon, as long as you have a separate buying account, where you just
and here's a tip too, is I will do, so if I have a book that's selling super good, I'll look the ISBN up on eBay, because a lot of times they're being sold for about $2 to $3. They're usually very, very cheap, and textbooks, if they're selling for like 150, they're usually like $20-$30.
I'd say too for clothing, and I mean, I don't know men's clothing the way that Shane and Andy do, but I buy clothing all the time to either flip on Poshmark or flip back on eBay off both platforms, where I've made a lot of money. You just gotta keep your eyes out for certain things that aren't popular on one platform, but they are on the other.
Absolutely.
Learn some of the tricks. Here's a pro level tip for you. Items that are frequently misspelled, if you will search the misspellings on eBay, you can find them at a much cheaper rate, because sellers will wonder why the hell this is not selling, and they would discount it or do whatever because it's not selling because they misspelled it.
Instead of polo, it's Poyo, and that's why it didn't sell.
It took me I don't know how many games I had to pick up before I learned how to spell millennials on this trip.
Oh man, it's in my phone now. When I type M, it just sells millennials and it comes right up. I've typed it so many times.
Well, I suppose I could probably end the show right now. Do we have any questions we missed? I just saw what time it was.
Yeah. We can go around the horn too, and like maybe everybody throw out just one gigantic, huge tip.
Oh, Banana. Jason Banana was terrorizing me in the chat.
Well, at least he's not terrorizing me, so I'm fine with that.
I can do a big tip. So, clothing people, shop the day after Christmas, and you will find tons of stuff on clearance. I buy tons of stuff for RA the day after Christmas for clothing.
Nice.
Crazy tip, though. And it's never, ever advertised, but you'll find crazy clearances.
I like Target for those. Yeah. They have really good clearance stuff after that, especially like socks, underwear, stuff like that. So I'll do a big tip. Following after Lauren is so I have, so just by all the Facebook groups, like I'm in all of the Facebook groups. I just never comment on them. I never like engage people because I just don't have time. But I see a lot of people, and And I have people that, you know, have reached out to me and they're like, well, we're only going to sell this item or just vintage clothing or just this. My tip to you is sell everything, absolutely everything, or you're leaving a ton of money on the table. I tried that where I would just niche myself out and I was doing just vintage clothing and it did not work. But when I started selling everything, my sales went poof. And so I feel like you got to learn as much stuff you can about as many items or group of items as possible.
I totally agree with that because I do sell a lot of things that are not clothing, but the majority of what I sell is clothing. Like a couple of weeks ago, I just sold a fishing reel and I just randomly grabbed it and was like, oh, this looks cool. Sold it in 24 hours for $85.
And that's good money. Like,
yeah, just keep your eyes open and go with your gut.
Okay, so learn to zig when others zag. You know, you hear that a lot, but how does it apply in reselling? Everybody is so concentrated on themselves on the 26th, 27th, 28th, their return and stuff. You need to be buying clearance. Right now, everybody's concentrating on buying whatever the fourth quarter is. The big sellers I know are done and are already in the Valentine's and Easter or whatever. They're not doing what the typical reseller is doing because they have planned it through. They have whatever they're doing. So, you know, it's important. You know, is there money to pick up? You know, chasing Monopoly games and that kind of stuff. Absolutely, and there's nothing wrong with any of that stuff. But there is also plenty of money in doing things when others going against the grain, doing things when others are not. And you know, how do you learn what sells at the first of the year? You know, planners, exercise, diets. I mean, just learn to understand the market, and you can buy ahead with enough confidence that you'll notice the same stuff sells over and over and over.
Absolutely.
All right, are you guys ready? Can we get a drum roll, guys? Okay, so I've got 3 small tips for you, but I'm gonna count them as one tip. You ready? So the first tip is shit. I forgot the first 2 tips. I'm joking.
Okay, so one small tip.
Yes. So first thing is think a season ahead. Like Scott said, I think that's crazy good. Think, next season, like the next event, next holiday. But also more importantly, I want to one thing that I've been trying to work on is what makes you money. And I know this sounds crazy, but listing makes you money, right? So, but there's also stuff that you need to do, small stuff to run your business in the background. For example, there's websites that I use to see where the sales are going to be at. Like Reddit is a good one, guys. Reddit.com. You can go there and you can see a lot of people posting, okay, this store is going to have this big sale coming up in a week. So you can be, plan ahead. I think knowing is half the battle, but more importantly, do that stuff like at night when you're in bed or something where you have downtime, not at the prime of the day. So I guess that's my tip is during the prime of the day right now, do stuff that's actually going to make you money, and the small little stuff that kind of gets you ahead, do that when you have downtime. And but websites like Reddit's really good. You go to reddit.com, and so you can have a lot of other resellers or other couponers or other people posting when their sales are going to come up. That way you guys can know ahead of time, have capital to buy it, and know where to go. So
definitely.
Sorry, finishing my thought in the chat here.
There's somebody asked Wade's channel name. There's your link to it.
After the show too, I just put this in the chat, but after the show, I will add links to everyone's channels. I just must have had a brain cloud and just forgot to do that. So sorry.
No worries. No worries.
I actually think in my favorites, though, under my own channel, I have everybody's channel favorited. So you guys can find them that way if you want them right now. But yeah. I guess on that note, we will close out. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We love y'all.
Well,
happy sales. Happy fourth quarter from me. I'll let you guys say your goodbyes and then we'll be done.
See you next Sunday. Is it Wade's channel next Sunday?
It is. It definitely is, because I screwed up twice, and completely was late, and then we did it on your channel, so definitely on my channel. But before we leave, goodbyes. Thanks for everybody that's coming. Hit the thumbs up button. Get this thing out there. It doesn't pay us more as creators. Just gets more people to realize the show here. And I just want to say it's been 9 episodes. I don't know. I lost count. And I just want to say I appreciate everybody that's joining. I see so many amazing same people and new people. And thanks for coming. And you lurkers that don't say anything, they're in chat. Thanks for coming as well. I appreciate it.
Hey, I just want to say the Iron Bowl was great. Auburn, you got next year. You're gonna get beat again. Roll Tide.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, thanks again, everybody, for coming. I was really excited to host on my channel. I've been off YouTube for at least a month now, so it was really fun to just hang out with all of you and chat. And I'll see all of you next Sunday. Have a great night, guys.
I hate goodbyes.